born in November of 1942. I don't know what happened until I was 4 years old. Well, actually, that's not true. I remember my mother and being sick, and I remember when I carried her out on the litter, and she said, "Take care of your family." That's what she said. And I was in military school, and I started playing drums in 2nd grade. My father let me out of military school in 6th grade, and then I started playing clarinet. I studied at a small music store, and then I started some bands, and we played in some polka bands, and we played some high school parties, and played some rock and roll, and when rock and roll just started.
I was born in Hammond, Indiana, back in 1948, which makes me 63, almost 64 today. I had 2 brothers and 2 sisters. I always thought I was a middle child because I have an older brother and an older sister, and a younger brother and a younger sister. But they informed me I was the baby of the first family. We had a great childhood. My parents both worked, which was kind of unusual back then. My mother worked full-time for the railroad, along with my father. And Grandma Annie, Grandma Mund stayed with us a lot to babysit while my parents worked. I loved school. I had a great time in high school and elementary school. I always knew I wanted to be a teacher from the time I was in high school and even younger. I remember teaching Bible school when I was in 8th grade and always volunteering to tutor and stuff like that. I taught school, and John was the band director. And I remember I always wondered about this man that could have long hairs and wear jeans, where all the other teachers were expected to wear heels and nylons. And it really irritated me that he could get by with his long hair and jeans. He was not hired by the Catholic school board, he was hired by the parents, correct?
Yeah.
Right, he was hired by the parents. So they had him downstairs in the boiler room, I think, where you gave your lessons.
That's where I gave my lessons.
He gave his lessons in the boiler room. But I remember meeting John probably for the first time in the teacher's lounge, and we sat at opposite ends of the table, and I was introduced to him. This is John, he's the band director. So we taught together for a couple of years.
Yeah.
We probably met in 75, I'm guessing. About 75, and we taught for 2 years at St. Pascal's together. I think I was pretty crushed. I was pretty devastated that he would leave and go start his new life without me. I did, right from the beginning. It worked out okay, but in the end he figured it out. But he always wrote. He was always good. He was gone, and he'd write all the time.
Yeah, always wrote.
He always wrote lots of letters. I still have them. All those letters from 35 years ago. When I left that last summer, and he said goodbye, and I thought, okay. And we didn't talk for a month.
Yeah, I couldn't believe you actually said that.
What did I say?
You said, "I don't want to see you unless I'm moving in with you. That's it. Forget it." And I said, "What? You can't. This is a great relationship. You come down in this summer and, we have a wonderful time. Go up the river and shoot guns and catch fish and..."
Yeah, it was pretty nice.
It was wonderful. And then we had to get married.
We didn't have to get married. We did not have to get married.
No, then I just said, "Okay, you gotta move in." And then
a month later he said, "Okay, I guess you can come down."
Yeah. And then after that I said, "I guess we gotta get married."
That was his proposal.
Might as well.
I don't remember, but there was not much of a proposal.
I was on my knees and... What am I?
No, I finally decided you were the right
Okay.
person.
Right.
And so we decided to get married. Nice wedding. It was a great church. But relatives came down. We had an option to get this oyster bar. So we took the option to the oyster bar, and the guy whose checks bounced on us, we went back there to collect on the money, picked up a cooler and a compressor and 12 Jack Daniels whiskey barrels and plywood, and that's how we furnished the oyster bar with stools.
We would not be together today had we not moved to West Palm Beach.
I wouldn't even be alive today.
Yep.
So I'm happy and alive.
Okay, yes.
Good choice.
Yes, it was.
I contacted the owner, who we got to be very good friends with.
Yeah.
His mother owned it, and we bought the piece of property from them, and we built our building. We were there since 80,
Built in 82, I think.
82, and we were there till 2000 something.
We sold in 99.
99?
I think we sold in 99. Something
Okay.
like that. Well,
99.
Yeah, 99. The kids hung on their Johnny jump ups in the doorway
Right.
between the offices, and the kids, you know,
The customers.
the
would say-
customers would come in and, you know, talk to the baby, and we had a bird. And we'd meet people on the street there going, "Oh, you're the ones that have the bird and the babies in the office furniture store."
Right.
Yes, that was us. We had quite the reputation.
I was sitting in the bank
It's not a
with
kid's
my
story.
banker, and it was 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock in the morning, and I turned, and there was this guy with his big gun and a black mask. And he said, "Get out of there, lay down on the floor." So I get down and I lay on the floor, and the banker lays on the floor. And he says, "Take your watch off." And the other guy is jumping over, raiding all of the tellers. So I took my watch off and I threw it over to him. He picked it up and he threw it back at me. He said, "I don't want that piece of shit." That was the greatest story. And then they got out and they took all their money and they left.
Because of John insisting that we go to all these foreign countries, so my one daughter, Emily, decides to fall in love with a New Zealander. And then my other daughter marries a Mexican, so they get to speak Spanish. And people say, "What's wrong with American boys?" So I have no idea.
Enjoy doing the most. That's a hard thing. I've enjoyed doing it all. I have no regrets. I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty lucky. Aren't we?
We are.
And that's the end, folks. Well, that's all, folks.